Run, Hombre, Run by Xosé Tarrío González. Distributed by Little Black Cart at littleblackcart.com. I continued on with my job in the commissary. My aggressive character sometimes got me into rows with some of the prisoners, but it didn't go any further. My personality brought me lots of small problems like this. I was truly antisocial. In prison, you meet all types, and sometimes I couldn't avoid feeling hostile towards some of these guys. I didn't consider them my companions. I picked those. They were liars who damaged everything they touched. Some criticized me behind my back. None of them had the guts to do it to my face. They talked shit about me, and the following day would offer to shake my hand, smiling in a big show of hypocrisy. Others crawled around, whining like servile worms, with no personality or pride. The worst spied and snitched to the administration in exchange for prison benefits. All units, wings, and yards had their informants. There would always be some seeking liberty at the expense of others. But apart from these elements, most of the prisoners that I knew in first grade were solid men, who could be counted on. One of these prisoners was Javier Avila Navas, or El Niño, as he was popularly known. He was transferred from the prison at Alcameco I, one of the hardest in Spain, along with other prisoners. He had just carried out a kidnapping there to free his friend Juan Redonda Fernandez from a severe special regime to which he had been subjected. I gave him tobacco, food, and some coffee. With coffees in hand, we went for a walk around the yard. I was curious to know what had happened. Quote, "What happened to Meco, Niño?" I asked him as he walked. "You want to hear it? It's a pretty long story." "That doesn't matter. We have plenty of time. Come tell me." Well, he lit a cigarette and started talking. On the 29th of December, last year they transferred me to the prison hospital in Madrid to operate on my dislocated shoulder, which the UEI, Special Police Unit, gave me during an assault on Tranco and myself in Cuado Real during another kidnapping. I was in hospital between January and February. I met my friend Redondo there. He was bad. I had never seen him like that. He literally looked destroyed, a wreck. He was all skin and bones. He couldn't put two words together. I helped him wash, and I talked to him. "Why was he like that?" I asked curiously. They had put him in isolation, in Alcalá Meco, and you know what that's like. It made me want to cry to see him in that state. They had taught him a lesson in cruelty. I asked him to tell me everything, what had happened. He couldn't eat since they spat in his food and sprayed it with pepper spray. He had been totally isolated from the other prisoners, and they had even tried to infect him with AIDS, using a dirty syringe. At least, they had threatened him with that, end quote. Fuck! Why did he let it go on? He lit a cigarette, and then one for me, and we continued walking circles around the yard. What was he going to do? Unit 7 in Meco is all automatic, and you can't contact the guards for anything, except when they come in to hit you, and when that happens, they come in a gang. He couldn't do a thing. Right. He told the prisoners that he knew in the other units, so at least they knew about his situation, but they did nothing except complain about it, and that changes nothing. You know, they wiped their asses with complaints. The truth is that they were all intimidated and didn't care to act. They feared the reprisals of the guards, which is normal. That was how it was when he arrived at Meco. End quote. He pauses for a moment, as if to organize the unforgettable memories in his mind, then continued. I had to save my friend from this at any price, and talked with Conde and Losa. You know them? Only by name. Well, I have talked to them, and asked them to help in a kidnapping to save Juanito from Unit 7. They agreed. So on Valentine's Day, we acted. He paused again and continued. That morning, Losa and Conde went down to the sentry box at my request, to ask for a cloth to clean the food cart. There was no problem since they were in charge of distributing the meals, and they didn't arouse suspicion. Then the guards opened up. and they took them and brought them to the showers, where I was waiting with another guard I had captured." End quote. "Which unit were you in?" I asked, interrupting. "In Unit 3. "All right, go on." "We waited for the medical staff to come, and we stopped them. There were 2 women, a doctor and a nurse. We told them that they had nothing to fear if they did what we said. I felt a bit weird, keeping those girls there, but they were a guarantee that we wouldn't be attacked." He explained to me, "I ran to release the rest of the prisoners and told them to cover all the windows with newspapers and mattresses. The guards there had realized what was going on and had turned the power off. They asked us to release the hostages. We told them no, that we would only release them in exchange for a release of my friend in Unit 7, and of Zanco Duran, Ortiz Jimenez, Mayo Martos, and the other prisoners incarcerated in the special regime of Era de la Mancha, and that they guaranteed the transfer of the other prisoners. We also delivered a list of demands that included, among other things, the end of mistreatment in Spanish prisons and the release of terminally ill prisoners." End quote. "That was really good. We need more of that." End quote. Finally, they brought in an inspector from the general directors and Jimenez de Parga to negotiate. "Who is he?" "An idiot. The secretary of the ombudsman. I read them and the list of grievances, and the rest is history. You've heard it." "Yes." "What happened at the end?" "We succeeded in getting this out on Radio Nacional, and they released Juanito from Unit 7, which isn't too bad, don't you think?" "It was a beautiful gesture," I pronounced. Yes, it was. That was a section from Run, Hombre, Run by Xosé Tarrío González. This book is available from LBC Books, a distributor of anti-political books. The website is in the details, motherfucker!